the du minus h, I wanted to keep it in a separate chapter. I don't know how long. I would just add that. So now when your system can have multiple directories, as in multiple hard drives, and the way you see that is by the df command. Okay, so now df shows you which file system is basically the hard drive. It's not, but just stick to that for now. The use space, the available space used percent and mounted on. Don't worry about what mounted on is, but this is what the mounted on is, what we see, and that basically the file system name that we want. So basically the hard disk that we are talking about, it's going to be referred as a file system. So slash is our file system. But now if you look at these numbers, they're like, all kinds of messy, crunchy, and don't really make a whole lot of sense. Okay, so if you want to see the output in a more readable format, then you're going to use du minus, well, df minus h, and now it shows gigabyte, megabytes, in its outputs. Okay, now the next thing, du minus h gives you the size of the folder that you are in. Okay, I thought I created a large file. Okay, so images. Okay, it's just showing the contents of the directories, sizes of the directories. So we're gonna do du minus h star, and then the messages file is 32 KB. The videos folder is 4 kilobytes, which are the large.txt. The file that I has is just 4 kilobytes. So this is how you get the size of the files that you have in your folder. Like now here it doesn't mean anything, but when you're working with bigger stuff on your machines and all of a sudden your drive is full, you don't want to expand it, and you're going to have to clean up your log files a ton of times, and this is how you find out what the sizes of your files are. All right, guys, that's all I want to cover in this chapter. See you in the next one. Another thing about the Unix system, everything runs as a process. So basically, this terminal that I've opened, it's a process. So when we opened another terminal, that's a process. When you start executing a shell script, that'll be a process. Like on my Mac machine, I am using this, which is also a Unix system, and this is running into a process. Okay, and the reason that matters, if you're having system issues, you're going to use the ps command. That's going to show you all the processes that are running on your system, which is nothing here. But if we come to my machine, my actual machine, the MacBook. Okay, so this is my machine, and if I execute ps here, these are the main processes. Now but if I want to show all the processes running on the system, I use the flag ps minus ef. Actually, I do not know what the difference between ps and ps minus ef is. I have never, like up until this day, I had not executed ps by itself in years. Like it's always ps minus ef. So when you say ps minus ef, once again, the long format, these columns represent something. But now by this time, you should be comfortable. When you see something like this, you're just going to go to the internet and Google ps minus ef output, and then IBM Knowledge Center, and it's going to have the information about that particular command. Okay, now some people are going to tell you use the man command, and basically you have to be a real man to use that man command. Like working 20 years later, I still dread that command. So for the command is man. The help pages in Unix are called man pages. So this is what it looks like. And there is a lot of good information, but I guess I'm just too lazy to go through all these flags. Instead, I'm just going to say ps minus the flag for with PS to find out the memory used. That's something like that, and I just Google it, and that's how I find what I need. Okay, so that's that. Let's get out of here. What's left? Okay, now all Linux flavors provide a command called top, and this gives you the whole uh, basically bird eye. It's not bird eye view, it's like basically a detailed view of what's going on in your system. Once again, you're going to have to Google on what all of these terms mean, but the number of processes running are 68. One of them is running, 67 are sleeping. This is the memory that's being used. This is the number of CPU that's getting used, and this is basically a process. This is basically the command that's going to give you every little detail about your system. So that command is stop. Now the command that the hardcore people use is called SAR. Once again, I think system access report or something. No kidding. I guess that's my kids. Probably one hit the other. Okay, so Linux, whatever version this is, doesn't have SAR. Solaris used to use SAR, and that's what I am used to using. Okay, now PS, and we have these process numbers. Now the process ID that could be creating a problem on your system, let's say it's this one, but that's the PS process that I just executed. Let me start one more window. Okay, I'm gonna go to this machine, and then I'm gonna VI something. Okay, so now if we come back here and say PS, okay, now you see this is the VI process that I've started here. Oh, by the way, grep, like when you're looking at output like this and you want to look at just a specific thing that you know that you're looking for and you want the other attributes of it, the command that you use to look at just what you need, you're going to say grep and VI, and wherever VI is, it's going to just show you that particular line. So the command is grep, and I'm going to stop here for a second so you guys can take a note. Instead of grep, let's say I'm trying to find Google stuff, then I'll say Google, and it's basically going to give me all the processes that have Google in it. Okay, so now this VI process is creating huge number of problems. So I am going to take that process and I'm going to say kill that process. Okay, and basically that terminates that process, and that's how you get rid of problems on a system. You're not going to get rid of problems like that on a system. You're going to first find out like what's going on. But worst case scenario, something has completely hosed your system. This is how you find out which process ID corresponds to a particular program, and this is how you end that program. Alright guys, that covered PS, kill top. The next thing you're going to need to know are some networking commands.